Coming up tonight on YCN News, former Stevens High School math teacher will spend 3.5 years in state prison after pleading guilty to sexual assault. Vermont lawmakers debate a bill that could increase the state's minimum wage. And a woman involved in a serious 3-car crash on I-91 in Rockingham, Vermont, is cited for driving under the influence. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to this Friday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. A former Stevens High School math teacher will spend the next 3.5 years in state prison after pleading guilty today to sexually assaulting a 14-year-old female student earlier this school year. 29-year-old Christopher LeBlanc pleaded guilty before Judge Brian Tucker in Sullivan County Superior Court, the Valley News reports. The court is located in Newport, New Hampshire. A grand jury indicted LeBlanc recently on 2 felony-level counts of sexual assault against the teenager. Claremont police arrested the 5'9", 190-pound LeBlanc in March on the charges. In the indictment, the time frame for LeBlanc's conduct with the student began September 1, 2013 to March 21st of this year. LeBlanc also pleaded guilty to aggravated felonious sexual assault, the report states. On that charge, the more serious of the 2 felonies, LeBlanc received a 5 to 15-year sentence, all of it suspended. LeBlanc faced several decades of prison time if he had been convicted after a trial, and depending upon a judge's sentencing decision. Turning to our top story today from Vermont, all eyes are on the outcome of a bill in the legislature that could increase the state's minimum wage. $8.73 is Vermont's current minimum wage. A bill being debated today as lawmakers race to meet a May 10th deadline calls for the amount to increase each year over the next 3 years. If approved, the minimum wage would be $10.10 per hour. A procedural error and more discussion on what the hourly minimum wage should be is blocking the bill's passage. YCN News will update you as more information becomes available. In other Vermont news, a celebration outside the State House on Thursday marked Governor Peter Shumlin signing into law a bill requiring food manufacturers to list the presence of any GMOs on the label. Vermonters deserve to know what's in their food, especially any genetically modified organisms, bill supporters said. The law goes into effect in 2016. A woman involved in a serious 3-car crash on I-91 Thursday afternoon in Rockingham, Vermont, is being cited by police for allegedly driving under the influence. 35-year-old Nicole Graves of Plainfield, Vermont, totaled the car she was driving. She survived the crash. State police report Graves was driving south on I-91 around 1:30 p.m. when her 2003 Jeep Liberty traveled across the median and collided with a trailer of a tractor-trailer driven by 67-year-old Frances Tutton of Fultonham, New York. Graves' Jeep then hit a 2004 Saab 93 driven by 64-year-old Robert Cathan of Ludlow, Vermont. Cathan was driving in the northbound lane. Graves' Jeep turned over in the highway, blocking the median and northbound lane. She was med-flighted to Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center in Lebanon, New Hampshire. The crash closed the northbound lane of I-91 between exits 5 and 6 for about 3.5 hours. There is no further information regarding any injuries suffered by Tutton or Cathan. The truck's rear axle and moderate front-end damage on the Saab were noted by police. The crash remains under investigation. 4 agencies worked with state police, including the Rockingham and Bellows Falls Fire Departments, Golden Cross Ambulance, and the Vermont Agency of Transportation. Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. In other local news, a third party could become involved in the design of a new stage and performing arts venue at Claremont Stevens High School. The request comes from music teacher Patricia Granter, theater teacher Larissa Cahill, and parents and students upset by the demolition of the decades-old wooden stage and auditorium seats. The additional expert would work with other professionals now involved with the $13 million school renovation. School board members heard the request from meeting attendees on Wednesday night that Lebanon-based firm Banwell Architects needs more guidance on building a new performing arts area. No one from Banwell was there to speak to the issue at the night meeting. A call to Banwell for comment on the meeting and residents' concerns has not been returned. YCN News continues its New London Select Board candidate coverage. Doug Homan is not the only one running. Candidate Nancy Rollins is also seeking the Select Board position. Our reporter Laura James is out in New London reporting on this new candidate's decision to run.
Elections are coming up next Tuesday, and in the town of New London, up for the post of selectman, Nancy Rollins is running for the position. We had a chance to stop in and speak with her today to find out her views on how she can serve the town of New London. Nancy, thank you for taking some time to speak with us.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you're running?
Well, I've lived in New London since 1995, and I've recently retired from the state after 25 years as the Associate Commissioner, and two things. One, I really believe in the community here. That's why I've decided to retire here. And I believe that I have the skills, the leadership, the information about fiscal responsibility, contracting, personnel, and so forth that would do well with the Board of Selectmen.
And Nancy, tell us about your experience working in local town government.
So far, I've been on the Zoning Board of Adjustments. I've also been the representative for New London to the Upper Valley Lake Sunapee Regional Planning Commission. And I've enjoyed both those opportunities very much.
And tell us how you'll make a difference here in New London.
I think two things. One, I think my experience is time-tested. I have a lot of respect from members of the legislature and others, and so my experience in dealing with multi-million-dollar budgets, I think, is important. The skills I've learned in terms of contract negotiation with providers and others, I think there's a depth there that is critical. I think the other piece is that my style is really to engage community members, stakeholders, and to make sure that as we're making decisions, that we have all of the information and the facts so that we're making informed decisions, but that really we hear from the residents of New London is what's important to them, what would they like to see happen, and we've got some pretty tough issues coming up.
Nancy Rollins, wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Reporting from the New London town offices, I'm Laura James. Back to the studio.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Today we have a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Skies will be cloudy with a high of 61 degrees. Southern winds will come in around 10 miles per hour. Tonight we'll have a 60% chance of precipitation with showers expected after 9 p.m. Lows will be in the 50s and winds around 10 miles per hour. Saturday we'll have a 70% chance of precipitation with showers before 5 p.m. Highs will be in the 70s with winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night has a 30% chance of rain before 9 p.m. Skies will be cloudy with a low of 51 degrees and winds will be around 5 miles per hour. Sunday will be sunny with highs in the 70s and winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Sunday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 49 degrees. Here's a glimpse of the weather from our northeastern and national radar maps. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in New Hampshire, Enfield will host its farmers market at 10 a.m. In Lebanon, the Opera House will host the Upper Valley Community Band for a show at 7:30 p.m. On Sunday in Hanover, the Hop will have the Barbary Coast Jazz Ensemble for a show at 10:30 a.m. And at 3 p.m. in New London, the Kearsarge Chorale will present Music of the Spirit at the First Baptist Church. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Now we have some high school sports to report, and to prepare for a few tomorrow. Yesterday, the Hanover High School Marauders boys lacrosse team crushed Exeter 10-2. Meanwhile, the Hanover girls lacrosse team battled it out with Bow and won, resulting in a score of 21-15. Tomorrow there will be a few games involving our local teams. Hanover will play 2 games with Hartford, Vermont. The baseball teams will compete at noon at Hanover High School. The girls' softball teams will play at the same time, noon tomorrow. It will be a twin state battle that you don't want to miss.